Are you tired of family dinners turning into silent screen time? This video offers a refreshing perspective on how to turn digital distractions into opportunities for genuine connection, making family time more meaningful than ever before. We are living in the most connected and simultaneously disconnected era in human history. Screens are everywhere, from smartphones and tablets to laptops, TVs and gaming consoles. Digital devices have become an inseparable part of daily life. For many families, they are present at the dinner table, in the car during family time, and even in bed. Children today are digital natives. Many have interacted with screens before they can talk or walk. Parents often rely on devices for educational content, entertainment, and even temporary relief while juggling life's responsibilities. According to recent studies, children and teens in some households can average up to 7 to 10 hours of screen time per day, and parents aren't far behind with work from home, social media, and streaming habits. What was once a passive part of home life has now become a dominant force shaping how families interact, communicate, and spend their time. While screens offer undeniable convenience and entertainment, the overuse of digital devices has deep and lasting effects on family relationships and mental health. Reduced communication. Family conversations are being replaced by isolated scrolling. Parents and children often sit in the same room, fully absorbed in their own screens, physically together but emotionally disconnected. Weakened emotional bonds. Regular face-to-face interaction is essential for bonding, especially between parents and young children. Excessive screen time interferes with eye contact, empathy development, and emotional awareness. Behavioral and sleep disruptions. Overuse of screens, especially before bedtime, is linked to mood swings, reduced attention spans, and disrupted sleep in both kids and adults. Modeling habits. Children imitate what they see. When they observe parents prioritizing screens over relationships, they internalize the message that devices are more important than people. The goal isn't to demonize technology, but to find a healthy balance. Screens can be powerful tools for connection, creativity, and education, but only when used intentionally and mindfully. Left unchecked, they can erode the very foundation of family life, shared experiences, presence, and trust. Turning screen time into family time starts with one simple shift: moving from passive consumption to active connection. In a world where screens are designed to be addictive and omnipresent, reclaiming family time isn't passive, it's intentional. It requires a conscious effort to prioritize connection over convenience, presence over distraction, and real-life memories over digital noise. Meaningful family time doesn't just happen by chance. It must be nurtured and protected, especially in the face of digital intrusion. Start by asking, when was the last time we had a real uninterrupted conversation as a family? Are our most precious moments being shared or scrolled through? Reclaiming time together begins with awareness, the realization that connection is not only possible but necessary for a healthy, thriving home. The next step is to identify where screens dominate family life. Often, it's in the quiet moments, while waiting for dinner, during car rides, in the evenings before bed, on weekends where there is nothing to do. These moments are ripe for reconnection but often lost to passive scrolling or binge watching. Reclaiming them involves gently but consistently swapping screen time for enriching alternatives like family meals with conversation starters, group walks or bike rides, board games or puzzles, reading aloud or storytelling, cooking together, doing crafts or gardening. These activities aren't just wholesome, they open space for laughter, bonding, and emotional safety. Let's be clear, this isn't about cutting screens out entirely. It's about creating structure and reclaiming balance. Here is how. Create tech-free zones in the home, for example, the dinner table, bedrooms. Set consistent screen schedules, for example, no screens an hour before bed. Weekends equal 2 hours max of recreational screen time. Use tech tools to support limits, like screen time apps, Wi-Fi cutoff times, or visual timeouts for kids. And most importantly, model the behavior you want to see. When parents honor screen boundaries, children learn to do the same. The shift from a screen-heavy home to a connected one doesn't happen overnight, but every choice you make to talk instead of scroll, to play instead of stream, To look into each other's eyes instead of at a device sends a powerful message. Our time together matters, you matter. And that message builds something far stronger than Wi-Fi, a bond that lasts. Let's face it, technology is here to stay. But rather than treating screens as the enemy, what if we transform them into tools for togetherness? When used with intention, screens can actually bring families closer, not push them apart. The key is shifting from isolated use to interactive engagement. Instead of everyone retreating into separate devices, bring everyone onto one screen, together. Try digital board games that the whole family can play on a tablet or console. Creative apps like animation studios, coding for kids, or music composition tools. Collaborative storytelling platforms where everyone adds to a shared story. These types of activities turn screen time into bonding time, where creativity, laughter, and teamwork thrive. Screens don't just entertain, they can educate. Watching content as a family opens the door for meaningful conversations and learning moments. For example, documentaries about nature, history, or social issues spark curiosity and empathy. Virtual field trips to museums, national parks, or even outer space provide experiences many families might not otherwise access. YouTube tutorials can teach the family a new skill, from origami to dancing or painting to coding. The difference? You're watching and learning together, not in isolation. Ask afterward, what stood out to you? What did you learn? How do you feel about what we just saw? These questions promote emotional awareness, reflection, and deepen understanding all through a screen. Some of the best bonding moments can come from something as simple as a family movie night, complete with popcorn, blankets, and no phones. Watching a family-friendly series together, discussing the characters or values. Trying an online cooking class and making a new dish together. Playing a co-op video game where success depends on teamwork. These moments might be screen-based, but they are anchored in connection. Not all screen time is created equal. It's not about how long, it's about how it's used. Screens can divide or unite. They can numb or they can nurture. It all depends on whether we're consuming alone or experiencing together. When screens become tools for shared growth, laughter, learning, and bonding, they stop being a wedge in the family and become a bridge. The strongest families aren't built by chance, they are built by shared experiences. While screens can offer entertainment, it's often the unplugged moments that deepen bonds, create memories, and strengthen communication. Reclaiming connection doesn't have to be complex. Sometimes, the simplest activities are the most powerful. When you put down the screens and get moving together, something special happens. Walls come down, laughter comes up, and real conversations start to flow. Try hiking local trails or nature walks with a family challenge. For example, who can spot the most birds or colors? Playing sports together. Basketball in the driveway, a soccer match at the park, or backyard obstacle course. Family game night with classics like charades, Uno or card games, simple, interactive, and screen-free. These activities not only strengthen your relationships but also build healthy routines and memories rooted in fun. Creativity is a powerful tool for connection. It encourages self-expression, teamwork, and vulnerability. Explore painting or drawing, even simple art nights where everyone creates something with the same theme. Music making, have a mini jam session with instruments or pots and pans. Writing together, start a family blog, journal, or family newspaper that reflects your collective voice. By creating something as a family, you're doing more than making art. You're making memories. Talk together, build rituals of conversation. One of the most underrated ways to reconnect as a family is one of the oldest: talking. When conversations flow freely, trust grows, and with trust comes connection. Make space for shared meals without screens. Use conversation starters or themes for each night. Storytelling sessions, where each family member shares something from their day, a favorite memory, or even a made-up tale. Family projects, from DIY home improvements to volunteer opportunities that require teamwork and meaningful interaction. In a world that often rushes us past each other, these moments of slow, shared communication anchored the family in presence and purpose. It's not about replacing screen time with strict routines. It's about introducing moments of togetherness that are active, creative, and heartfelt. Because the more we laugh together, create together, and share our inner worlds, the stronger our outer bond becomes. Creating a screen-conscious home isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing commitment to balance, boundaries, and intentionality. Once you've started reclaiming your family time, the real challenge becomes maintaining that momentum in a tech-heavy world. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress that lasts. Consistency begins with clear family agreements around screen time. These aren't just for kids, adults need boundaries too. Start by creating a family tech agreement that includes when and where screens are allowed. For example, no phones at the table, no screens after 8 p.m. How long screen time should last, for example, 1 to 2 hours max per day outside of school or work. What kinds of screen activities are encouraged, for example, creative versus passive use. Involve your children in the process. When they help create the rules, they're more likely to respect and remember them. Tech isn't the problem, disconnection is. That's why the focus must be on building a culture that prioritizes presence. You can foster this by scheduling weekly screen-free family nights, that is, game night, cooking, storytelling. Creating shared spaces in the house where no devices are allowed, that is, kitchen or bedrooms. Modeling what it looks like to be fully present, phones down, eyes up, ears open. Connection thrives in environments where people feel seen, heard, and valued, and that can only happen when attention is undivided. We don't have to fear technology, but we do need to teach our families to use it with awareness. Encourage habits like pause before using. Am I picking these up out of habit or purpose? Reflect after using. Do I feel better or worse after that time on my device? Choose content wisely, favoring shows, games, and apps that inspire or educate. Mindful use of technology teaches children and reminds us as adults that screens are tools, not necessities. They are helpful when we're in control, not the other way around. As your family grows, your routines and tech needs will evolve. What works for a 7-year-old won't work for a 17-year-old. That's okay. What matters is staying flexible in your methods, firm in your values, focused on connection over convenience. Check in regularly as a family. What's working? What's not? What do we want more of? What do we want less of? Sustaining balance doesn't mean rejecting the digital world. It means using it wisely and always prioritizing the most important connection of all, the one between the people under your roof. Because the best memories aren't made behind screens, they're made together. Hey, are you ready to take back your life from addiction and actually feel good doing it? Let me show you the tools that can truly change your recovery journey. First, grab your free 7-day addiction recovery journal. 7 days of powerful prompts, mindfulness tools, and tiny victories that stack up to real momentum. Then, when you're ready for deeper transformation, the 30-day addiction recovery journal will be your daily guide for rewiring habits, managing cravings, and building resilience. And if you're serious about mastering your recovery, the ultimate guide to overcoming addiction gives you the full system. Mindfulness strategies, neuroscience hacks, emotional healing, you name it. These aren't just products, they are stepping stones to a life that you deserve.